hope you all are doing okay today. Remembering Hurricane Katrina. So this has been on my mind because it is 20 years later. Hurricane Katrina started over in the Bahamas and made its way to the United States. August the 23rd through August the 31st, 2025. It made landfall on the 29th, causing severe flooding from the city of New Orleans, Louisiana to Biloxi, Mississippi. It was considered a Category 5 hurricane. The highest speed of winds was 174 miles per hour. There were over 25,000 people that had to be sheltered at the Louisiana Superdome. All right. There was $125 billion in damages, and there are still people 20 years later that have not been compensated for their losses. I want to just give a moment of silence as well for the 13 to 1,800 people that lost their lives during Hurricane Katrina. There were also people that bodies were never claimed. There are also people that were never even accounted for. They never even found them. There were people left in prisons, so the state in itself failed in a major way. When you have prisoners, even though they're prisoners, they were just left in these prisons with the water continuously rising and with them just having to find a way, trying to find a way out, a way to survive. So I'm going to give you a little bit more, some more stats on Hurricane Katrina. Half of the people that passed away during Hurricane Katrina were 75 years old or older. 53% of the people who passed away were men. 51% were black, and 42% were white. Just to give you some idea of what was happening during Hurricane Katrina. Now, in 2015, there were a lot of lawsuits going on up to the point, there were some who even tried to sue the United States government and they didn't succeed. However, in 2015, the Army Corps of Engineers was found liable for not maintaining the canal. All right, and that was a big deal. I guess it just depends on the circumstances, Ajay, whether a hurricane or a typhoon is more dangerous. And it also matters where it's touching down. I mean, who are the people? I mean, how many people are affected? What is the population size? And all of those are the tons and tons of different factors. And sometimes it doesn't matter how bad a hurricane or a natural disaster is. What matters is what it affects. Just like in New Orleans, it was the dams and the levees and all of the things that hold water back that was affected, that caused the catastrophe that it actually caused, So sometimes it's secondary issues that actually cause all of the catastrophe. Sometimes you can have a Category 1 or 2 storm and it causes a great deal of catastrophe just based on where it touches down and what it affects. So I also wanted to say that 80% of New Orleans was affected by the floodwaters. I remember in 2009 when we went to the Essence Festival, and this was 4 years later, we could still smell the effects of the standing water and of the mildew that was still present in the area. So, when we enter the hotel, we could smell it, So I guess for someone who lives there, who was always there, they became a little insensitive to it, like it wasn't a big deal anymore. But if you weren't from there, as soon as you touched down and you went into any of these these buildings that had been affected by the flooding, you could smell it. And You know, that's just the to show the major effect that all of that flooding and the water had on that city, that for years and years later you could still smell the effects of it. I apologize, guys. My phone went hot. I apologize, guys. My phone went hot. Okay, RH, let's see. You have arthritis. Your favorite food is peanuts. I don't know what you're trying to say, RH. It doesn't sound right, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it because it doesn't have anything to do with my live today anyway. But thank you for watching. Now, back to what I was saying about Hurricane Katrina. If I got cut off, you know, like I said, years and years later after the actual hurricane touched down, you could still smell the mildew and the effects of that standing water that was there. So that just went to show the effects that those dams breaking and all of that water had on that city, especially for 80% of it to be affected by it like that. Hurricane Katrina was a big deal. You know, I mean, you had a lot of celebrities also, you know, petitioning and asking for the help and outreach of, you know, assistance to get help for the people in New Orleans. One big one you might remember is Kanye West when he went on the TV show. I think it was called R Live or RHL Live or something like that. And he said, you know, G. Bush doesn't care about black people or something about like that. But anyway, for Kanye to say that, you had to know that major stuff and a lot of neglect was going on during that time. There were a lot of issues with FEMA as far as taking care of the, you know, the needs of the people at that time as well. So, you know, that just goes to show, you know, some things never change. And for it to be 2005, you know, things could have been and should have been taken care of a whole lot more efficiently, effectively. And some say that the whole issue shouldn't have happened in the first place because of, you know, the dams breaking and the levees and things of that nature. So a lot of it could have probably been prevented, you know. So, you know, that's that. So I don't entertain ignorant people. It's just not in my lane. You want to stay on topic, your comment will be deleted, and you will be blocked from my page. Stay on the topic. We're talking about the effects and remembering Hurricane Katrina, remembering the victims of Hurricane Katrina and things of that nature. So that's what we're doing today. We're focusing on a much bigger picture, and the effects that things have on the lives of people. You know, this is a serious matter, and it is what it is. You're going to continuously be blocked and your comments removed. No one will see them, so you're wasting your time. But anyway, yeah, Hurricane Katrina, 1,300 to 1,800 lives lost, giving remembrance to them, to the lives lost. And even this recent hurricane that we had in North Carolina, you know, things were still handled pretty badly. And, you know, to be where we are as far as technology is concerned, there's no reason for these cities not to have alarms and alerts to alert people to the dangers that are coming, you know. And when we do hear these alerts, we have to actually pay attention to them, you know, because like I said, small things can become big things and affect, you know, have bigger effects than we think that they would. So just be diligent about that. So I want to thank you all for watching and listening today. And I'm just going to add this little piece on the end. For negative people, I return and reverse any and everything negative that comes out of your mouth. May it affect you 10 times fold, because we are no longer in the turn the other cheek era of life. We are in the quick karma era of life, and we're not nice no more. We're not being nice no more. But anyway, y'all be blessed. If you're from New Orleans, Mississippi, let me know what you think. How are things now, 20 years after the storm? You all be blessed.